U.S. inflation hits 3% in September, lower than expected. Long-awaited CPI reports show. You can see that the bias distribution on this has got very little reporting coming from the right, with 14%, 32% coming from the center, and most reporting is coming, or excuse me, 32% from the left, and most of the reporting is coming from the center with 54%. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics released CPI on Friday, reporting year-over-year inflation rose to 3% in September, slightly below economists' forecasts of 3.1%. And my story is pulled from CNN, which is second down on the factuality list. It does say that it leans left. So let's get into the story here. The cost of living got even more expensive for Americans last month, with prices rising at a faster pace since the start of the year. Consumer price rose 0.03% in September, which drove an annual rate of inflation from 2.9 to 3%, the highest it's been since January, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data released on Friday. Gas prices, which shot up 4.1% overall and 4.2% for regular unleaded fuel, both the largest monthly increases since October 2023, were the biggest culprit behind the monthly increases, BLS data shows. Food prices rose at a more moderate price than they did in August, a month when grocery prices leapt by the highest rate in nearly 3 years. And housing-related inflation also continued its lengthy slowdown. Economists were expecting that inflation would continue to pick up speed, rising 0.04% for the month and 3.1% from the year before, according to FactSet estimates. Excluding food and energy, which can be quite volatile, the core measurement of CPI rose 0.02% in September, with an annual inflation rate setting out at 3%. Although better than economists had expected, Friday's inflation data is a disconcerting reminder that prices are still rising faster than they typically should. There's a psychological milestone of being back at that 3% level again. Heather Long, chief economist at the Navy Federal Credit Union, said in an interview with CNN, due to inflation, the typical American household is spending $208 more a month in September to purchase the same goods and services that they were a year ago, and $1,043 more a month than they did at the start of 2021, coming out of the pandemic, new data shows from Moody Analytics. The softer inflation reading for September gives a green light to a rate cut from the Federal Reserve, which has a policy meeting next week, wrote Christopher Rupke, chief economist at FWD Bonds. Front-wheel drive bonds? No. However, Rupke cautioned that better than expected report might be painting a rosier picture than actually exists. The immediate dangers from Trump 2.0 tariff policies have not yet fed through to inflation overall, he wrote in a note to investors Friday. The market will likely hold their applause, however, as one reason inflation is held in check may be due to the economic slowdown seen in many labor market indicators. Friday reports provided further evidence that President Donald Trump's steep import tariffs are causing certain good prices to move higher. Categories such as apparel, home furnishings, footwear, and appliances all continued to see price increases last month. And a closely watched inflation index, core goods, excluding autos, is up 1.3% annually, which is the highest since August 2023. However, the September report is somewhat unique in its own right. It's the first major federal economic report released since the U.S. government shut down on October 1st. September CPI, which was originally scheduled for release on October 15th, is being belatedly pushed so that the government can meet deadlines to make cost of living adjustments for 2026 Social Security payments. Hey, thanks for watching this clip from Nightly News this morning. If you haven't, make sure that you drop the video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video or when we go live on Tuesdays and Fridays.